You know who you are. You're having trouble in the competitive ladder and you're looking for a quick way to climb. Luckily for you, there are a couple of heroes in the game that will accomplish just that for you in a way that you can quickly learn. My name is Nathan and welcome to Blizzard Guides. This guide is going to be a bit different than some of the previous guides that I have done. Rather than going over each hero and giving tips for the hero, I'm going to tell you what aspects of the kit you need to focus on and perfect so that you can actually carry the games. Unfortunately, the matchmaking system doesn't teach you how to play the game properly, so sometimes you do have to play for the matchmaker. So using these tips will help you to expose the common mistakes in matchmaking teams and capitalize on them to win games quickly and easily. This guide is good for up to about masters. Also, I'm going to be doing 2 DPS, 2 tanks, and 2 supports in that order. So let's get right into this list. At number 6, this wouldn't be a video about carries without our flamey boy JUNKRAT. JUNKRAT is just one of those heroes that just carries if he is not countered. Because of the skill required to put in effective work, as JUNKRAT is significantly lower than the other heroes that can carry, he makes for a quick and easy hero to learn if you're wanting to climb the ranks quickly. I'm going to be giving 3 tips with this hero and with the others for that matter. When you're going to be playing the solo queue JUNKRAT, you really gotta focus on a few things. One, you really always just have to keep a high kill per minute count. As JUNKRAT, you're going to be the primary source of frags for your team. You aren't going to be the consistent damage though, that's something else. You want to be quickly getting insta-kills for your team at the beginning of the fight or at critical moments in the fight, meaning that you will literally win the game for your team pretty much single-handedly. Secondly, you need to be denying those flanky routes that the enemy can take. Your bombs are extremely effective in close quarters, in hallways, or in small rooms. For that reason, you want to be shutting down the flank routes should the entire enemy team or single enemy travel through that path. You can generally get tons of ult charge or tons of kills, both providing very useful. And lastly, you just always want to be alive in the fight, carefully positioning yourself in your backline and only advancing when your tanks are pushed up and are ready to go in deep will guarantee that you aren't always dead and that you're always there to pick up kills. Next up at number 5, we've got the recently improved Reaper. Now, before I give you these tips, I need to preface them. I could have very well put Pharah in this spot, but when it comes down to it, the role and utility that you're filling with Pharah is the same as JUNKRAT in matchmaking. The mechanics are really the only difference, so for that reason, I'm putting Reaper in this spot. Reaper is actually really going to be effective come Season 10 and likely for the next few seasons. With the rise of very burst heal and more powerful supports, Reaper is going to be able to take out the tanks being amped by these healers very quickly and very effectively. Also, because of the unorganized nature and matchmaking, you're going to be able to play the hunt and pound style very effectively. For Reaper, there's actually only 2 tips. The most important thing is that you always play the hunt and pound style as Reaper. You really need to just get behind the enemy, not in their backline, but in a spot where you're able to pounce the enemy quickly. So for example, standing in a room behind or to the side of where the enemy is regrouping, or right around the corner from the main choke in the map. If you camp there, wait for the enemy to push in slightly, hop behind them and get one pick and quickly escape, you'll shut down pushes before they're even started. Do not show yourself until the barrel of your gun is at the enemy's head. If you're spotted before that, your gig is up and you should retreat to your team. You have to play it safe. If you get 1 kill and get out, you'll be good. Don't blindly go in for 1 kill either. Plan out who's going to be the easiest to kill based on what escape or crowd control abilities they might have, and then go for that 1 kill and get out. Secondly, when you ult, don't try and save it for those huge 6 kill ultimates. You really just want to focus on using that ult to get the supports in the backline or the DPS that are caught out on point because their tanks left them. Basically, if the enemies are going to get in and block your ult, don't ult. You have to guarantee at least 2 kills with your ult, otherwise you'll just waste it and probably die. If you think ulting might be dangerous and kill you, just don't ult and you can save it for later.
Alright. How did that work?
At number 4, we have ROADHOG. ROADHOG is a super hard carry for Overwatch, not as much as Hook 1.0 Hog, but still very good. ROADHOG is able to immobilize one enemy with a semi-skill shot and usually able to get a kill on said enemy. But more importantly, he is able to contest the point for years, especially in lower SRs. As Hog, you want to 1. Just be the point presence for your team. Because of that self-heal, you can reliably keep the point contested for your team, and with the Hook and Shotgun, you can keep squishies away from the point and always dead should they try and take it from you. Obviously, you'll still want want to play with your team, but should your team be on high ground and needing someone to contest the point, you'll always be there to do that. Secondly, you want to try and hook ground-based heroes. Hooking heroes like McCree, ZENYATTA, Ana, and Tracer with a bit of skill and luck will help you to shut down pushes really quickly. You don't have to get 90% hook accuracy, you can keep around 50 to 60% hook accuracy and you'll be carrying games in no time. You'll also want to hook any tanks that are diving your supports. That's another really good use of hook that should be incorporated to your matchmaking games. And lastly, using that healing to build your ult and then ulting to keep enemies off of your point is a really powerful tool. This is something that not too many people see as very useful, but if you have a safe hog ult that you can use, you can effectively stagger the enemy team and allow your DPS to pick up easier kills. At number 3, D.Va. The Mecha Queen D.Va is a very powerful tool for climbing the ladder. Out of all the heroes on this list, I would be most careful about using her though. D.Va is a very intuitive hero, however, she does not teach you the fundamentals of positioning, risk and reward, and overall just game sense, like the others do in this list. So while you will climb SR very quickly, don't forget to explore other heroes and learn your rank's meta, as you will quickly find that you'll be stranded in terms of game understanding if you only play D.Va. As D.Va, you want to play a playstyle very similar to Reaper's. You have to go for that pounce, and while you don't necessarily have to go for the hunt like you do with Reaper, you still have to strongly consider which targets you'll be going after. Like with ROADHOG, you want to go after those ground-based squishies with relatively chaseable escape abilities. You can use your micro missiles, rocket boosters, and then your left click to quickly pounce on an enemy, clean up the kill, and then matrix and protect yourself until you can fly out. You also want to focus on matrixing and suppressing the enemy carry. If the enemy McCree is popping off, as D.Va, you can just fly in and pounce on him, or at the very least matrix him so that you can get the kill on him, although I would recommend trying to get the backup of an ally DPS if you can. And lastly, just using your bomb to force the enemy off of high ground is a really useful tool, since you can generally pick up frags and clean up some easy kills, or at the very least force the enemy into a very uncomfortable spot. Next up at number 2, by far the best support in the game, MOIRA. MOIRA is ridiculously powerful with her ability to heal multiple allies through shields at a low cost, and that doesn't even include her damage output. As MOIRA, you have to focus primarily on keeping your tanks invincible. You're going to be able to heal them through nearly anything, so if you play with your tanks and always keep them up, you'll win fights very easily. However, don't necessarily be afraid to extend and try and heal that DPS that's extended a bit too far and is a little low, because you have that fade on a 6-second cooldown. It basically means that if the enemy can't kill you in 6 seconds, you're not going to die. Also, make sure to always be throwing your damage orb out if you don't need to be burst healing, and if you do need to burst heal, just throw that healing orb out. But mostly, if you keep throwing that damage orb towards mobile heroes, supports in the backline, or flankers in the close quarters and tiny rooms, you'll be able to get a lot of critical damage out and hopefully a few picks here and there. And lastly, you want to use that ult practically on cooldown. Even though your ult doesn't do necessarily as much damage or as much healing, merely popping it causes the enemy to panic and waste ults. You can simply ult while your team is pushing and draw some staggered enemy ults out, in addition to be able to heal and do damage. It's effectively creating space from the support slot. And last but not least, at number 1, we have ZENYATTA. ZENYATTA is ultra powerful as a DPS from the support slot. It's very weird, but if you can learn to land those right clicks with Discord on slower tanks and DPS of the enemy team, even if you don't get kills, you'll always have your ult up nearly every fight. As Zen, those right clicks are going to be ultra important because you need to be constantly getting those bursts of damage out in tandem with your Discord orb to be able to do the next 2 tips. When you right click, aim for the neck of the enemy, and if you think you're going to miss, just flick down a bit and go for their body. His orbs do 230 damage if you land all 5 body shots, so you'll get the kill for sure if you have Discord and maybe miss one but get one headshot. Then once you get all the right clicks down, even if you just feed off of the enemy tanks, you'll always have your trans up every fight. When you get your trans up, you always want to make sure to keep it in handy for countering enemy ults. Keep track of what ults the enemy might be close to and what ults specifically you're going to counter with your trans. If the enemy doesn't have any really counterable ults, you can just use trans for contesting or for intense mid fights where the enemy is dumping a lot of ults, regardless of whether they're very bursty or high in damage output. And lastly, maximizing the potential that you have with Discord is very important as ZENYATTA. If you keep Discord on that enemy that is being attacked by your team, you can get quicker kills and have to do less healing. So in a way, you increase your percentile healing output. Make sure that you always keep Discord on mobile heroes that need to be quickly killed before they escape, enemies that are being focused by your team, or enemies that are just doing too much work and that need pressure put on them so that they retreat from the fight. Effectively managing your Discord and orb volleys will allow you to do work from both the support and DPS slot.
이코!
아니요 아니요
나도 아 나도 아니요
Anyway, I hope this guide helped you guys out. Let me know which hero or guide you'd like to see on this channel next. I'll be reading your comments down below. And if you have any questions about the game in general, you can reach me in the comments down below or on Twitter at ngage_exe. Also, don't forget to leave a like on this video as it really helps us know that you guys are enjoying this content, and don't forget to subscribe as we have a lot of epic moments videos just like this so that you can see the best plays from around the globe, and we've got tips and tricks videos so that you can be the best player that you can be. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Have a nice day. My name is Nathan, and this was Blizzard Guides.